This momentum must be sustained through continued effort from policymakers, associations, institutions, and academia. And this marks the third consecutive year of strong participation from defense and aerospace industrial complex at Advantage Bharat. Today, we are deeply honored to have an exceptional lineup of dignitaries to share their perspectives on pivotal role of MSMEs in achieving and maintaining this indigenous dominance. Let's welcome everybody with a good round of applause. I now request Shri Dushyant Narayan Deshpande, Director and Convener of VDIA, to kindly escort our dignitaries on the dais. Today we have with us General Manoj Pandey sir, PVSM, AVSM, VSM, ADC, former Chief of Army Staff of Indian Army. Sir is deeply connected to Vidarbha. I would now request Major General Anil Bam sir to felicitate General Manoj Pandey sir with our traditional shawl and sapling. Sir has an illustrious career. He was the recipient of Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal, and aided camp to the President. He is respected for his strategic leadership, operational expertise, and commitment to a strong, self-reliant defense force. He continues to inspire through insights on defense, strategy, and national development, supporting initiatives like Advantage Vidarbha by highlighting opportunities in defense, aerospace, and related sectors for regional industrial growth. We are honored to have you here, sir. I would now like to call upon Shri Vijay Kumar Iyer, sir. Sir is a senior officer of Indian Ordnance Factory Services with extensive experience in defense production, operations, planning, and exports. I would like to call upon Dr. Bhavna Deshpande to felicitate Sir. Sir has held the additional charge of Chairman and Managing Director at YIL, providing strategic leadership to enhance operational efficiency, indigenization, and self-reliance in defense manufacturing. Selected by the Public Enterprises Selection Board in 2024, his current role is recognized for his visionary leadership. We are honored to have you here with us, sir. Thank you so much. I would next like to call upon Lieutenant General Sanjay Verma, sir. I would like Shri Dushyant Narayan Deshpande to felicitate, sir. Sir is highly doctorated veteran of the Indian Army with over 4 decades of distinguished service. He served in the Army at various capacities and superannuated as Director General. He also served as DRDO Chair and Consultant, advancing in Atmanirbhar Bharat and Defence. Post-retirement, he serves at Emeritus Resource Faculty at Rashtriya Raksha University and consults with DRDO. We are honored to have you here, sir. In the presence of our dignitaries, I would like to announce a significant collaboration today. First, between Vedic and Falcon Sky Bengaluru for the establishment of an advanced drone lab and design center. This partnership will further boost skill development and technological collaboration. And second, between Vedic and Vibha. We have here with us today Atul Vaidya sir, who is the Vice Chancellor at LITU, the President of Vigyan Bharati. We welcome you, sir. I would now like Shri Dushan Deshpande sir to felicitate Atul Vaidya sir with shawl and sapling. For the second collaboration, we have Vedic and Falcon Sky Bengaluru for establishment of an advanced drone lab and design center. This partnership will further boost skill development, technological collaboration, and MSME integration in defense and aerospace ecosystem. I would further request Lieutenant General Sanjay Verma sir to come on the podium to share his insights.
Respected General Manoj Pandey, all dignitaries present on and off the dais, the vibrant participants of Vidarbha Association 2026 Advantage Vidarbha program. As an individual, it gives me great pleasure that this is the third event here and I've been regular in all the three events. While paying tribute to all the people who have put in their best to make this initiative come true, I would like to actually pay tribute to another visionary of Nagpur, whom some of you would be remembering, General Ravi Thodge. So in fact, he did a lot for this industry, and it just so happens, God bless his soul, that had he been alive, I would have had my residence in Nagpur only, because we were seriously talking about doing a lot of things together. Well, I will not take much of a time, but for the people who are sitting here, let me tell you that this is the time which they say inflection point. The defense industry is at an inflection point in India, and for all the startups and the MSMEs, I think the young people, what you are aspiring to look at vision Viksit Bharat 2047, you are on the right track. Just 2-3 points for the MSMEs and startups. Please remember, getting into the defense industry is actually, people call it a struggle, and I will endorse that. Why? Because please remember that whatever is going into the defense is going for the security of your country. So it is totally non-negotiable, totally non-compromisable. So the quality, the level of technology thresholds, the cost competitiveness has to be of the highest order. And today, given the policies, procedures of the government, I don't think you could have lived in a better country. When I joined the Defense Forces, and like General Manoj Pandey, 40-45 years back, it was a totally different world. Today, the enabling policies, the technology, and the vibrant youth of our country can definitely make this Viksit Bharat dream a reality. I wish the organizers and all the participants the very best, and anything we as veterans, we as people who have spent 40-45 years can do anything to assist you, guide you, we are always there. But always keep the Josh flowing high and wish you all the best. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your continuous presence and support. We really appreciate it. I would now like to invite upon Shri Vijay Kumar Iyer, sir, Director, CMD, Additional Charge, Yantra India Limited, to come and share his perspective amongst all of us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all of you. General Manoj Pandey, General Verma, on the dais, dignitaries of the dais. There are a plethora and a galaxy of speakers that are going to actually have a panel discussion here. And probably each one has at least a volume of pages with them who's going to deliver all things about MSME. So probably the best platform, if you've come to learn about MSME and the engagement of MSMEs in defense, I think this probably would be the best gathering so far, seeing the name of the speakers here. I am myself amazed that such wonderful galaxy of speakers here. Notwithstanding that, the topic for today was from import dependence to indigenous dominance. Somehow when I first listened to this title, I actually, history struck me. I mean, I drew parallels with the independence struggle that we had. And some parallels that I could draw was like way back in 1947 or 1942, we were trying to fight ourselves and become independent. It's no different today. The struggle for independence or the struggle for non-dependence continues. So the motto that time was given by the father of the nation, Quit India. The motto today has been given by our Honorable Prime Minister, Make in India. So there are things that are very relatable to each other. Now, with Viksit 2047 Viksit Bharat, the motto that's been already given is Make for the World. So you see, you draw, there's a lot of things. I mean, we made a lot of sacrifices that time to get our own independence. To make India independent or non-dependent from import sources, we'll have to give sacrifices. The sacrifices will be from every single person sitting here, the defense industries that are already there in the ecosystem. I am from Yantra India Limited. Yantra India Limited, a name may be a little less familiar in today's circles, but we are from the erstwhile ordnance factories, the Indian ordnance factories. The Indian ordnance factories, 41 of them were split into 7 different defense PSUs, that the defense public sector units, each with their core competency in various fields. Yantra has its core competencies, materials and material forming, metallurgy. So our concentration is more on ammunition hardware. We have other groups who are already displaying here, and we have some of the speakers from the other groups as well, AVNL, MIL. So we had our core competencies and we are divided on our core competencies. But the dependence on each other is still there. Yantra India Limited has got 8 factories all over India, each of them specializing in a particular technology, like the one which you are familiar in Nagpur is Ordnance Factory Ambajari, which is one of the biggest factories in our fold. And it's got the best possible machining facilities and flow forming facilities. We have facilities in Jabalpur and Muradnagar for castings. We have facilities in Ambernath for non-ferrous metallurgy. And one of the oldest steel making plants, probably when after the Tatas, was Metal and Steel Factory Ichhapur, which was established in 1901. So the legacy goes on. But the legacy has changed. There's a legacy to lineage. That's the change that we are trying to bring in. And this defense ecosystem, what we are trying to do to reduce our import dependence. Yantra India Limited by far, or Ordnance Factory by far, was established with a vision to have indigenous production of arms and ammunitions. Way back before independence, or just after independence, we used to depend on foreign countries for almost every single ammunition. I mean, we had 18 ordnance factories prior to independence, no doubt, but then we are making the basics only. Now, post-independence, there were 23 more added, and then in 2021, we are slipped into 7 different groups. So, over the period, the government has been focusing on indigenizing things so that the dependence on imports reduces, and the journey continues. I just like to highlight that out of the 7 DPSUs, which have been formed in 21, 4 have gained Mini Ratna. Yantra India Limited is the last to join this league of Mini Ratna public sector undertaking, which we got it around a month back on January 9th. And that actually shows our commitment towards developing an indigenous module or indigenous production facilities for this thing. Now what happens is MSME collaborates for indigenization, no doubt. And I'm saying that with my heart that around, if we have got Mini Ratna, it's probably because of this MSME support, because there are a lot of things that we actually outsource to MSMEs. And if they had not timely supplied, and had we not supplied timely to our customers, we wouldn't be here. So I take this platform to thank all the MSMEs who have supported Yantra India Limited and all our factories in the growth. And I'm sure this journey will continue. We are having around 3,000 MSMEs who are presently engaging with us for supply of various types of products, not only products, they are engaging with us for supply of services as well. So, and this is going to grow. We have something around 50% of our total spending, that is 50% of our total purchases are from MSME industries. When we started in 2021, this figure loomed around 10% or 10 to 15%. From 10 to 15%, today we have reached almost 50%. And now this, what we are aiming at is hand-holding the MSMEs, we may reach this target of 75%. The best part of engaging with MSMEs is they are very close to you. The problem is, otherwise the larger industries are not set up near. So it is very difficult to engage with them or get the timely supplies. So this is a very big advantage. We look at MSMEs as our partners in progress. And I'm sure this will go on. There are some facilities probably MSME may not be able to invest in, for which the public sectors are there. Large investments if you have to make it. Investment was 1,000 crores, which the Indian defense industry or the Indian defense ecosystem requires as on date. Something that we have recently done is, indigenization is, one is that we are engaging for manufacture of futuristic generation aircrafts. And we have some colleagues from HAL here as well. So our dependence on material is so much from the foreign countries, especially aluminium, that we don't have facilities in India to produce that sort of a material. And the equipment is very, very costly. It's around 1,000 crores. So investment by an MSME is very, very difficult. So such investments, such large-scale investments are going to be taken up by industries like us. And we have recently actually, I take this platform to tell you also, we have recently been given an approval for setting up a 10,000 ton extrusion, aluminum extrusion press, which is worth around 800 crores. And this is going to actually support HAL in manufacture of the futuristic generation aircrafts. But we have gained a lot of mileage. I think a lot of speakers, but then I prepared a little bit, so I thought I'll just share it with you. What I'm saying, our journey towards indigenization is very good, but are we doing enough? Is indigenization only within our boundaries? I mean, is that what we are thinking indigenization is? Indigenization is when we, from the raw material to the end product, if you are able to make it, that's indigenization. At any point in this journey, if there is a dependence on import, say for most of our cases, the dependence on import is at the basic raw material level. Now the problem is, India is a vast country, but then we have our mineral resources limited to 2-3 main materials. We have a large resource of iron ore, we have huge amount of bauxite. All this is there. But then let me tell you, we don't have many critical materials. The ore is not there. The geographical boundaries itself prevent us, because we don't have ores of tungsten, we don't have ores of, you'll be surprised to listen, we don't have enough concentrated ores of copper. One of the main materials that we have in daily use. Copper is very, very lean. In fact, for most of the copper, we are depending on imports. So, if you say that indigenization is from the base of raw material to the end, where do I get this raw materials from? There are 30 strategic and critical materials that the government has named. And we are talking about EV vehicles. Electric vehicles need some of these critical raw materials. We will not be a successful producer or a manufacturer of EV vehicles if we don't have this, because the lithium batteries, we are dependent completely outside. So lithium is not available in India. There's no ore, or probably we have not searched enough. So there are 2 points to it. One, Indigenization is not about within India. I just want to take this platform to tell you that indigenization is not limited to within the boundaries of India. If you are thinking that indigenization is about doing within India, within the boundaries of India, probably we may fail. Indigenization is about going global, identifying the places where resources are there, and then taking some sort of a mutual consent from those resources, a win-win situation for both, taking control of those resources and getting that in India. Now, for example, the Congo Basin has a huge amount of copper. And see, some of our neighboring countries have already started doing so. If you say that some neighboring country has actually gone ahead and he is having every sort of a material which he wants, it's not that. He is the strategic implementation of crossing the boundaries, establishing an enclave elsewhere, away from the country, home country, and doing a win-win situation somewhere. Having an inclusive growth. That's very, very important. So that idea has to come out. Indigenization will never be complete if you think within the boundaries of India. Indigenization has to go on and has to be across the globe, and where we can create a win-win situation. With that thought, I'll actually convey my thanks to the organizers for giving me an opportunity to be here, and such a wonderful August gathering here. And thank you so much. And all of you, welcome to Enter India Limited once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your insights were truly valuable. I would further like to invite General Manoj Pandey, sir, to the podium for his valuable input.
Dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and Jai Hind. I'll be sharing my thoughts on the subject of Atmanirbharta in meeting our defense sector needs. And in that context, I think this event, this seminar for which we are sitting here, couldn't have been more timely, where as a country, our growth story, the growth trajectory, and in all of this, I think it is very important for our country to be strong, secure, and hence the defense sector capability development needs have to be, adequately met. This is also the time, and it is perhaps stating the obvious, you have seen the character of war changing. You find war is no longer just, the good old kinetic method of war fighting, but it is now transcending into new domains, be it cybers, be it space, be it electromagnetic spectrum, and the rest of it. Hence, it is very important that the entire ecosystem comes together to meet our defense sector needs. Recent Op Sindoor, which is very topical, which is fresh in our minds, more than proved as to how important it was for us to be self-reliant and to be Atmanirbhar. Not only that, it also showed us, just as other conflicts world over, that technology is something for which we cannot be dependent on outside world. We have got to develop our own technologies. We have to spend adequate on R&D. We have to focus on niche, disruptive, critical technologies such as AI and the rest. There appears to be a feeling that, look, future wars will be only about drones and all the high-tech stuff. But I put a warning there. I feel the legacy systems will still continue to be relevant, because we can't only fight with new systems. Neither it is desirable nor is it possible. So to that extent, the good old supply chains in requirement of our ammunition, our weapon systems will still continue to be relevant. One aspect which I felt, and this is purely from a user perspective, on one hand, we have a lot of new technologies available to us in the civil street, outside the defense domain. We have to evolve our mechanisms, and I am aware the ministry has a mechanism called the Innovation for Defense Excellence. I think we need to ginger that up and see as to how these technologies which are available outside can be adopted for defense use in a very short period of time. The industry, both the public sector as well as the private industry, I believe are very important stakeholders in this entire effort. So you have the government which makes policies, you have the services who have to play their role well, you have the industry, you also have the academia and the R&D ecosystem. So it is my belief that you have to achieve this synergy and all have to come together to deliver. The government, as you are aware, has taken a number of initiatives. I see a lot of positivity from the industry side, from the private industry, of which the MSME undoubtedly form a very important component. In the recent budget, you've also witnessed to close to 15% increase in our defense spending, out of which modernizations accounts for a rise of 21% over what was there in the previous years. So I believe there is great opportunity for the industries, private sector especially. There is a level playing field, unlike the earlier years where it was largely, I would say, dependent on the public sector. There are a large number of future projects which are coming up in the defense and aerospace sector. As far as Nagpur is concerned, besides Nagpur's relationship with number of defense establishments here, I think it's an ideal place, be it in terms of the ordnance factories which are in and around Nagpur, be it in terms of R&D establishments of the DRDO. We have the Mihan SEZ, a large number of companies have set up their establishments, their facilities here. Soon, the defense industrial corridor will come up in Maharashtra in this area of Nagpur, Savner. So I believe there is tremendous opportunities, especially for the MSMEs, because they are the ones who will be feeding the industry. So Nagpur, in my view, is developing as a very important supply hub, especially for composites and aerostructures. I am also aware of certain initiatives which the organizers have taken to skill the youth, because that is very important, because that is what is going to give us job opportunities for the youth here. In all of this, the services, and I can speak on behalf of the services, they are playing a very proactive role, be it in terms of hand-holding and the rest. So it is no longer we and they. I have always been insisting that we need to move from a buyer-seller relationship to one of partnership in the industry. So industry reach, outreach, industry interaction is again on a positive note. We gave the slogan of Swadeshikaran says Sashaktikaran. That is again emphasizes as to how Atmanirbharta is important. Likewise, we must indigenize to modernize. And that's what I felt, that you need to have your own technologies, your own R&D ecosystem. And events such as this, I think, is an ideal platform, great opportunity for all stakeholders to interact, exchange ideas, and come up with viable solutions to the challenges that we are looking at. I wish the organizers, I compliment them for this initiative and thank them for providing me this opportunity. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insight. Now, I know we're all very excited about the panel discussion. Before we begin, in the presence of our dignitaries, I would like to call upon Dr. Bhavna Deshpande to present Ashish Prithviraj from Falcon Sky, Bengaluru, so that we can present him with our traditional shawl and sapling. Can we have a round of applause, please? Now, as we move on to the heart of today's session, I would like I would request all our honorable guests on the dais to kindly proceed to their designated seats on the front row. Thank you so much, sir. Today's panel discussion is on moving from import dependence to indigenous dominance, MSMEs powering resilient vendor ecosystems for a self-reliant India. And it will be moderated by Anil Bam. Major General Anil Bam, sir, is a highly decorated veteran of Indian Army. I would like him to come on the dais. An alumnus of the Indian Military Academy, sir was honored with Sena Medal for Gallantry and Vishisht Sena Medal for Meritorious Service. Post-retirement, sir continues as Managing Director at Madhav Netralaya Eye Institute and Research Center, Nagpur, demonstrating leadership in healthcare and veteran welfare. He is the chairman of Vidarbha Defence Industries Association, spearheading initiatives to establish Vidarbha as a key hub for defence, aerospace, aviation, and indigenization under Atmanirbhar Bharat. We're glad to have you here, sir. Now, I would like all of our distinguished panel speakers on the dais as I call upon your names. First is Surendra Dhopadkar, sir. Sir is a senior officer of Indian Ordnance Factory Services with extensive experience in defense production, finance, and operations. He serves as Senior Deputy General at DFU, and Sir has previously held key roles including Director at Ordnance Parachute Factory, Kanpur, driving financial management, operational efficiency, and indigenous efforts. His leadership supports Atmanirbhar Bharat defense manufacturing. I would next like to call upon Captain Rohit Kaura. Sir is a Program Director in Defense Innovation Organization. He is a veteran of Indian Air Force with over 30 years of distinguished service in aerospace and defense domains. He currently serves as a Program Director at Defense Innovation Organization, DIO, under IDEX, Innovations for Defense Excellence. We're glad to have you here, sir. I would next like to call upon Major General Vasudesh Arya, sir. Sir is a highly experienced retired Major General of Indian Army with deep expertise in defense production and strategic operations. He serves as Executive Director at Solar Defense and Aerospace Limited. We're glad to have you here, sir. Your leadership drives high-impact defense projects aligned with Atmanirbhar Bharat. I would next like to call upon Sanjeev Bhola, sir. Sir is an alumnus of National Defense College and is a seasoned defense professional with over 25 years in the Armored Vehicle Nigam Limited ecosystem under the Department of Defense Production. He previously served as Chief General Manager of AVNL Amenities, including Vehicle Factory, Jabalpur. His expertise spans over indigenous defense productions, operations, and strategic planning. We are honored to have you here, sir. I would next like to call upon Shri Pradeep Kumar, sir. Sir is a Senior Scientist G at Research Center, Imrat, DRDO, Hyderabad, a premier lab for missile systems, avionics, and guided weapon development. He also serves as Secretary in Vigyan Bharati, Telangana, promoting science, technology, and innovation all over. We're honored to have you here, sir. Thank you for your presence. I would next like to call upon Dr. Ajit Bhandakar. Sir is a senior leader at Hindustan Aeronautics Limited with specialization in martial science, in material science and indigenization. He serves as additional general manager at HAL Aircraft Overhaul Division, leading efforts to develop spares, materials, consumables, and LRU for fighter aircrafts, reducing imports and enhancing self-reliance. I would next like to call upon Dr. Lakshman Singh, Chief Manager, HAL. Sir is a technocrat and a project manager at Hindustan Aeronautics Limited with over 20 years in avionics and defense optronics. He serves as Chief Manager, leading strategy, operations, project management, and human resource development in aerospace. We're glad to have you here with us, sir. I would then like to call upon Dr. J.P. Dash, Principal Director, NADP, Chief General Management. Sir is a senior cadre of the Indian Ordnance Factory Services at Joint Special Secretary level with 33 years in defense manufacturing management and training. We're glad to have you here, sir. We're absolutely honored. Thank you all for joining me on the stage today. I would now like to call upon our moderator, Major General Anil Bam, to carry forward the panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Shravanti. My Chief, General Manoj Pandey, General Verma, Sri Vijay Kumar Iyer, all the dignitaries in front of me, my esteemed panelists, who are a bank of knowledge and experience to the hilt. Today is going to be a day for discussions and innovative ideas which are going to come out on the subject, which is very relevant in terms of moving away from import dependence to export dominance. And how do the MSMEs look at it in terms of gaining advantage for the areas in which our defense sector is growing? In the recently concluded budget of the nation, we have seen, which General Pandey made a mention about the defense allocations, which were done on 1st of February on a Sunday, and we realized that the total budget of about 7.85 lakh crores was about 15% higher on year. It has been seen during last few years, the budget has not increased more than 10 to 11% year on year. But this year, post Operation Sindoor, in a pause, but held in abeyance to be restarted any time, an increase of 15% of the budget from last year is a big hike. What is more relevant is that the capital outlay which is there for modernization is about 21% higher than the last year's allocations. This is the kitty which all of us are looking for, where we can make a difference and take our pie from the entire pudding which is available to us. It's a big ticket. It hasn't ever happened before. You have seen what is happening in the war of perpetuity between Ukraine and Russia. It doesn't seem to end. I think on 26th of February it will be completing 4 years. There was a time when all of us spoke about short, intense wars. Now it's going to be prolonged, sustained, and going to exhaust you completely. The European countries, because they get the burn of the Ukraine conflict, has managed to raise their defense budgets to 5% of their GDPs. We had an expert committee which said that the defense budget should be ideally at about pegged at 3% of the total GDP. We were always around 1.8, 1.9. This year, it is about 2% of the total GDP. And if we look at the defense allocation, which is the highest as far as the complete budget of India is concerned, is about 14% of the total allocations which are made. Today, we have a very strong panel to discuss about these aspects. There once upon a time when India decided that indigenization is the way to go, we had something called a negative list. That this and this equipment or subsystem or component will not be imported from outside. A negative way of looking at things. Things have changed. Now it's called the PIL. PIL for the defense services in the terms of positive indigenization list. Total there are about 5 PILs. The last one came in 2023, applicable to 2030. The total number of components or other ancillaries which form part of these 5 lists are about 5,000 plus. To be exact, 5,012. Here is the place where each one of us sitting in this hall who represents the MSMEs, stroke the OEMs, can make advantage of it. What we'll do today is, I will give about 5 to 7 minutes to each of these individuals who are experts and doyens of their fields. They will give us as to what they're doing, how they can help the people who matter, who want to join the mainstream and become defense production suppliers. It's a niche, like General Verma made a mention, very difficult to get into it. But once you have the sustained effort made and you enter the hallowed portals of the defense acquisition, it's there to be and in perpetuity. Thereafter, we will have few discussions at the stage, and I'll throw the session open to the House for any questions. Total time for all of us is about 1 hour plus. What we'll do today is, sir, we will start from my right and my left. So we'll request Pradeep to start, and this side, Dr. Das, and go in rotation. Sir, the stage is yours.
यहाँ उपस्थित सभी लोगों को मेरा सादर नमस्कार. जय हिंद, जय भारत. Myself, Dr. Lakshman Singh here from Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. It is 20-year journey with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. We work mainly in the tech transfer area. Now the situation has changed that we need to come to the technology should be developed by in-house, and then we go outside. Before going to the main topic, I would like to share one things which I experienced with the HL itself. Normally in India, we see the technology is mainly focused by the industries. When I say technology, it is a product. Because technology is a subject things when we come in the product. Normally we see the all industries are focusing to develop the product by their own capex, by their own talent. But when we see the outside, the NATO countries and the European countries, then we see the product is developed by the institutions. And industry grabs it for series production. But this is not in culture in India itself. If you see all IITs, all big academic institutions, they are doing the technology research. They are not doing the product research. And we are hungry for the product. We know the technology of infrared, we know the technology of laser, but we need as an industry product. So now I recently seen some of the literature that just I discussing with the Das sir also, that China has introduced one, like NEPs we introduced in our India, China has introduced their academic culture in such a way that if you develop the product, it reaches to the level of prototype, the team of the people who are involved in this product development, they will get mastered. They need not to go through the examinations. They will be master degree. If their product absorbed by any industry and it come in the series production and it goes to the user level, that the team leaders will be the doctorate, or like that 2-3 people will be doctorate. So this level of motivation is required when we form any policy for the development of the MSMEs. So now they come to the topic of the MSME. Yes, I can say one thing. MSMEs are not big enough to go with the multinational, but they are not too much small that they could do the micro startups activity. So they are facing the middle syndrome type of things. So where we have to go, we're not able to decide, because if you go to the high level of the things, then it needs a high capex investment also, and which is not in our limit, because the MSME is defined as their scale of the investment, scale of their industry itself. So this is the one gap. When we are going to discuss in detail, we will point out which I understood from this point. And second, when we face any technology issue that sir has mentioned, that we should not focus the Indianizations within the boundary of India. Yes, if we doesn't have the technology, we should take it from outside. And we absorb in such a way that we can modulate it for our own purpose. That is missing from our side, because it was during that contract negotiation with the foreign OEMs, it is not documented in the contract itself. That is a limitation for us. That's why we are not utilizing, modulate the technology for our other purpose. So there is a scope where we should draft the contract, have a collaboration in such a way that we can utilize in another aspect also. So technology is surrounding all over the world. We have to take it and we have to use as per our use. And we have to think our enemies are not the very far. They are very near to us. So our technology should be in such a way that we should be smoothly abused. If you say, one example I can say, if you have a Pulsar, which is a very good bike, but in the cold season, the starting is the issue. But if you have the passion, like a Splendor, one kick start. So we need the passions, this Splendor type of bike in the defense also, because our enemy is very neighbors. We are not going to fight the war with the US or Italy or Germany. So our equipment, our development in such a way that we should be satisfied with the product specification, because RFQs form in such a way that it has to be multinational or global defense people. So we should draft our RFQ in such a way that we should meet our minimum criteria. Over the period of time, we can modulate the upgrade or obsolescence management. There is opportunity for this. With this, I am closing my point for here because a lot of senior people are there. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Good afternoon to all of you, all allied gathering. As I stand before you, today we are witnessing a very different global situation in which anything and everything being used as a weapon. Talk it tariff, talk it minerals, talk it money, trade, call it technology. So the challenge is that how we can become Atmanirbhar, that the time is not there, time is running out. Being Atmanirbhar, all of you have said, it's about making a product or making indigenization. Is it just because that? But I believe that indigenization or this Atmanirbhar means creating that inner power within, which tells you, I don't need anything from you. I can do it myself. That's the entire sector can tell, whether the corporate sector, whether MSME, whether education. What exactly then we want people to deliver as a country? We are looking to Viksit Bharat. Can corporate sector alone deliver? Can MSME alone deliver? Can education sector alone deliver? No. It is when all of them come together. And that is what exactly we are talking about it. How to build the synergy. How to build a corridor. How to build that network effect so that we deliver things which are better than my adversaries. So right now we are talking about very interesting concept. In this country, we started with a license-based production. Then we moved to acquisition-based capability. We said that DAP, we started with the DPP. Then we went to DAP. And basically what we are trying to do, we are trying to do acquisition, and we are categorizing the acquisition. We said that we want to develop the capability. That is also delivering something. But is that enough? The point is that we have a document called TPCR and Technology Perspective Capability Roadmap. Recently it has been rewritten. Are we developing capability? Can you leave the acquisition development to the market to deliver it, or can you do it in a mission mode to do it? That's the big question. Is it the question is about product? It is about the process. Who will do the machines? All the explosive machinery that we right now do in India, we are importing. We tried in Munition India Limited, Ordnance Factory Khamaria, we could do some of the machines. So the point is that right now, the IATSA was talking about the minerals. There are a lot many ends to it, and there are a lot many things to be done. Today we find that, of course, the point very interestingly, if you look at the entire history, a lot of Nobel laureate Eric Maskin, he talks about very interesting, he talks about the 6 levers, how we can transform a country. It is about initially you protect the industry, but then reduce the protection so that you can be exposed to the tariff, you can be compete against the world. You need investment. You need investment in education. You need private sector finance. You need to promote exports. And you need to do technological innovation. The 2 fundamental I come from the education sector right now. I work in truth sector. What exactly we're interested? Education, technology. Look at the new education policy. It's just not say that you go and teach something, but exactly we are right now promoting about technology innovation, whether it is IDEX. Only 2 days back, it was RDI fund was initiated, that 1 lakh crore deep tech fund, in which TRL level 4, somebody reaches, government is ready to fund. Mr. Lakshman Singh was talking about creating technology. Where exactly technology will be created? Technology will be created fast in the mind of the people. You say you can tell a guy to go to the sea and fish, you can give him fish, but tell him that you love the sea and you go there and you try to build the ship and do the things. That is what the pride in the country we have to develop. Pride in the technology that you have to develop, that it is our own. That is what exactly education sector is all about. Look at the people. We are looking at MSME sector. It has got a definite disadvantage and the capital, because what we are finding, the newest product, whether interdisciplinary product, AI-enabled, system-based product, all these are highly technological intensive. If a product is technological intensive, you need knowledge-intensive manpower to deliver. And the KPMG, one of the studies, they said that in aerospace defense industry, 50% of the manpower are graduates, whether it is management or technical graduates. That is what French entire aerospace hub has developed. The point is that right now we are looking to increase the knowledge intensity of the people. The MSME, on one hand, they have the disadvantage of the capital. On the other side, exactly, they have the agility, and they can definitely work on their intellectual power they can give, and they can do wonders. We have not tried a lot of MSME to come together, have a cooperative model in the country. And let me tell you, before anything happens, it is the idea that rules the world. What is that new idea? What is that new idea that can be different from the world, what we can give, that all education sector can tell you about it? So let me come out to what exactly my organization, National Academy of Defense Production, what exactly it is doing. Little bit of dent we are trying to do. And we are trying to do today, we are trying to depend on I went to different DPSUs. I have been to HAL, BL, I have gone to MIL, everywhere I have gone. I have seen everybody is doing well, but BL doesn't know what HAL is doing. HAL doesn't know what MIL is doing. So how to bring them together? So we started a course called Indian Institute of Management, Vizag. We started a course in which all the DPSUs are coming together, in which NADP is supporting, HMA is supporting. We are starting, and we have a foreign component in France with the ESCP Business School. So that is how we thought that once people come together, this kind of a silo will be broken, and we can create the next generation system. And these people, once they come together, they can brainstorm. Today we are talking about the democratizing the education. Somebody we talk to different sector. People have the problem in accidents happen. They need behavioral safety. Today we have done one thing called India's largest LMS we have created, that is called IGOT, India Government Training. It has 1.5 crore learner. In last 1 year, we launched 75 courses at NADP. We have already 5 lakh people have completed at the rating of more than 4.6. That is the kind of reach that the country has got. So that is what exactly this platform we want to give it to the people. Right now we are creating another kind of a LMS in which we can give it to the defense sector so that people can try and experiment. We created a PGDM course in defense. Why? People want ready-made student who can just go to the industry and deliver. And this PGDM student with a specialization in defense, actually they are making moves. They have done wonderful internship in different organizations. They have improved. In fact, they have TSL. They went, the Boeing and Airbus database was different vendor database. They integrated that. One of the example. The point is that these guys, they have the idea for the future, and we are giving them a platform. We are making them industry ready by exposing to the industry so that all the MSME, all the corporate sector, they can take it. So that's what right now we are working for with the INFED. I am Nagpur INFED incubator. We are trying to make a challenge for the defense challenge for the country, in which we have floated some challenges other than IDEX, because we want to find out other mechanism in which you can make things happen. We are supporting it so that people come with a solution and can do it. Very interestingly, we are right now experimenting with ideas. Some of the naval officers, they come to me, and they say that we are about to super innovate. Can we become entrepreneurs? I said that yes, we'll help you out. But then, because these guys understand about the product, but somehow they are not exposed to that GST, labor laws, all those things, they are not aware about it. They are not aware of how to go to the market, how to segment the market, how to create a brand, how to do the pricing, how to do marketing. So we have partnered with them in FATE, that's the incubator, and we're going to launch for the service all the MOD officers right now who are interested in the post-retirement career. They can have their own startups, and then we'll connect to them to the market. So these are some of the ways in which we are able to create the entire ecosystem. And that's what I will say, that India's defense future will be shaped by what we produce more than how we think and what way we are going to change to make the things. Thank you so much.
Sir, we have a call. Technology, as always. Gentlemen, we have a little constraint today. Abhijan has given a message that there is a session at 4:30 at this location. So I would request the balance panelists to wrap up their initial remarks in a much shorter time. Sorry for this inconvenience. Sir, over to you.
Respected dignitaries of the dais, on the dais, first I thank organizer who has given opportunity to speak in front of this audience. My fellow speaker, Dr. Lakshman and other, they are rightly pointed out that product development is a key for the MSME, because every MSME want to develop the product which we can use as an import substitute, and second is export. Second is academia collaboration, how industry, academia can collaborate, and then they can develop the good product which can lead to the export, and then it can reduce the import substitute. So this conference is regarding the MSME. So I will narrate a few things how we can proceed further as far as HAL is concerned. I am Dr. Ajit Bhandakkar. I am looking as a head of indigenization at HAL Nasik division. So, firstly, the government MOD has initiated lot of new things for MSME. The first thing is, I will tell, is a Srijan Defense portal. So if anyone knows, everyone knows the Srijan Defense portal. It is a dedicated Srijan Defense portal where you can pinpoint based on your technology which is available with you, which is expertise with you, you can directly pinpoint, and then if we log on to that Srijan portal and click that product, the directly message goes to the indenter. Either it will be the defense PSU or ordnance factory and all. So that is, and as far as HAL is concerned, we had posted more than 25,000 products that Dr. Lakshman had told. The products what we require. It may be the bearings, it may be the LRUs, it may be the spares, anything, everything is posted on that. And many industrial MSMEs partners, they had approached us, and then we have close interaction with those partners. Just like academia what do, we will guide them how to proceed further and then move forward. So once the product is developed, then how it can be exported. It is basically very simple. The patent lies, it is a joint patent. So HL takes the patent of that, and then it is almost property of the Indian property. Then we can export it. So naturally this is a closed phenomena, and lot many products we have developed up till now, and it is a continuous process. What MOD has did, MOD make 3 policies. Make 1 policy where the funding is there, make 2 policy where lot of innovators can participate, and now make 3 policy where basically technology can be transferred, can be done. So this is what, how quality can be taken care during the development. What my earlier fellow said. Because why quality is important, and quality has been taken care during the development. Because any product what is developed by the MSME, SME and other inventor, it can be used and it can be procured for bulk production unless otherwise it is approved by the accreditation agencies. So this is a mandatory requirement because all goes on the aerospace. And when we approved your product, we will see that your specification should be world standard. We study all the specification which is available in the world, and then we'll make a specification such a way that it will be the latest specification which can be used for next 20-30 years. So that is what we are doing. So getting a patent is a mere technical process. So your product will be get. So what HL does, they will handhold your product, and then your product will be a world-class product. And then if you manufacture that product, only you have to replica of that you can use for the export. So that means just what it is for one product, it is not a one PhD, but it is a multiple PhDs. So that's what we are going. Third emphasis is PIL atoms, what sir has suggested. So more than 250 PIL list already has been listed. So anyone can approach that PIL list, and most important, test facilities. Already in HL website, we had posted more than 86 test facility what is available with us. That regularly we will provide to the Indian MSMEs so that Indian MSMEs can use that and then can improve their, test their product which will be certified. So it is a development of the product can't be possible by alone. It is a hand-holding. Hand-holding with academia, hand-holding with defense PSU, and most important is a MSME. So I think with all cooperation, naturally where it is very feasible. So it is three things what I told. One is the Srijan Defense Portal, which is available to all. You can log on and make sure that if your product fits to that, you can directly log into that. Second is a PIL list where naturally available. And third, we have dedicated indigenization portal on the website where you can do it. And if everyone support this as a national movement, then not only Atmanirbhar, but export can be feasible. That regularly we are doing. I thanks once again to panelists and all organizers for giving me opportunity to speak in front of you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. And it's a real privilege to stand here in front of the Vidarbha Defense Industries. I am following Vidarbha Defense Industries, Nagpur Industries for last couple of decades when I was in GCF. Being an R&D man, I have interacted with companies to develop a lot of systems. I was here when the first session took place as a Vidarbha Defense Industrial Association, and that time I said that this has a potential of the explosive bowl of country. The ammunition, the environment that was there, that the scope for ammunition factories to be developed, and now if you see, we have a lot of companies into ammunition manufacturing in this area. We have companies who design aerial bombs in this place, and it's all because of the strategic location of Vidarbha Industries, the industrial strength and growing industrial base of this place, logistic infrastructure, the power surplus region. It's a power surplus region. If you go to some other, like in Delhi and adjoining area, it's becoming too difficult. So this area has really a potential, and the defense manufacturing industry has started, it's well established now. We can't say that it's a parallel to the other defense industries that have been created in erstwhile OAB or in government sectors. So it's a time that I can only say that all the industries who are sitting in front of, we are in a Mahakumbh of industries. It's a Kumbh of industries that we are holding today. And thanks to AID, VDIA for doing this. So what is, I will just try to bring to the MSMEs, what is the emerging environment domestically, in domestic, what's the environment in defense, and what is the global scenario that is going to boost the Indian defense manufacturing industry, MSMEs, to grow. Because now if you see past 1 year, there's a lot of change in global geopolitics, which has led the OEMs to see Indian industry. Initially, we were running to them. Now those countries are finding, it started with offset provisions, which policy change, the government introduced offset, which has made our defense industry exposed to the world OEMs. And now we have well-established supply chains in India, and a lot of companies are established in this region. So what is the emerging environment within India? If we see, our Indian technological sector is targeted to grow to $300 to $350 million in next 5 years. That's the power of technology that is coming in India. The next is the growing defense budget, as just brought out by our ex-chief, that this year we have increased our defense budget to 15.2%, 7.85 lakh crores in this financial year just announced. And for the capital allocation, 2 lakh crores for the first time in the history of Indian defense industry. This is the first time that this much defense budget has been kept for capital procurements. The indigenous defense production has increased. It has increased to 174% if we see the facts, from some facts from in last 10 years. So we are actually already at the start, moved to the exports. Defense exports have increased to 23,000 crores in last year, and it is expected to go to $5 billion in next couple of years. So what has actually changed in India is that initially we were having 60 to 70% imports. Now 60 to 65% are indigenously manufactured system. That's a great shift, that we have started doing indigenous manufacturing of many equipments. Thanks to the policy change, the emphasis on indigenization has been made, and that is why where the volumes have come for the defense industries. What is next? The rise in asymmetric gray zone areas, the new war fields that just now we were discussing, has led to technological demands. The Russia-Ukraine war has led to the new technologies to be imbibed, the ISR technologies to be inducted. So there's a lot of demand for technology, especially AI-based and other things. So in fact, just today morning, someone was asking the role of AI in defense. I think it's exorbitant. There's now the new wars are not by just hardware, by weapons. Apparently, you have to have a different asymmetric warfares. You have to have technologies, and that will play a dominant, major roles. So what has happened? The handholding by DDP and the major change that the defense forces are now handholding. There are the startups, new innovations. We are aware of the Army Design Bureau, which has been created for defense forces. Then IDEX is there. So the government is holding all the startups and new MSMEs, and that is a major change what is happening within country, which was not there, say, a few decades back. So what has happened, that self-reliance as on date is not just a rhetoric. It's India has transformed from heavy importer to the exporter. Now I will just put a small thing what defense industries, and particularly for the organizers of VDI, what is changed, how the MSMEs. Now the new concept, as Dash sir was also bringing, is a collaborative path for development. Big projects cannot be done by small companies, small MSMEs. We have to think of a collaborative approach, and we have to develop that. In that collaborative approach, we have to more focus on the research, the technology. The MSMEs have to think of technology, not just indigenizing. We have to go to the new technology. Being a small, so what I would suggest is I will close here, and we can discuss this at a later date. Pardon? Okay. हिंदी में मैं सिर्फ एक ये बोलूंगा वी आर ग्रेट, हम बहुत महान हैं और हम अपनी टेक्नोलॉजीज और इंडस्ट्रीज को बहुत आगे ले जा सकते हैं। इंडस्ट्री के पास बहुत पोटेंशियल है इंडिविजुअली, बट कोलैबोरेशन करना है और हम लोगों को एक साथ मिलकर बढ़ना है। फौज आपके साथ है, डिफेंस फोर्सेस आपके साथ हैं, भारत सरकार आपके साथ है, कई स्कीम्स हैं जिससे आप जुड़िए और हम लोग आपके साथ हैं जो हम आपको हैंड होल्ड कर सकते हैं, आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं। इन दैट, इन शॉर्ट, आई विल जस्ट स्टॉप एंड वी विल कम।
Respected dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar. Defense is not only about the weapons. Defense is about the technology sovereignty. Technology sovereignty is the foundation of strong economy. To become a $5 trillion economy and a respected global power, we must control our critical technologies. And this control does not come from the big factories. It comes from the strong MSME and resilient vendor ecosystem. Big industries build the platforms. MSME builds the ecosystems. Every aircraft, missile, radar, satellite, and drones uses thousands of components. If these parts come from outside of the country, our independence becomes fragile. That is why MCMEs are not small players. MCMEs are strategic national assets. They provide supply chain strength, manufacturing depth, regional development, crisis time resilience, and this idea is not new. In ancient Bharat, we had the Sreni system, guilds of metalworks, shipbuilders, textile makers, and engineers. This decentralized production network made Bharat a global manufacturing and trading power. Today's Laghu Udyogs and MSMEs are modern continuation of this strength. We are not creating Atmanirbhar from zero. We are reconnecting modern technologies with Bharat civilizational manufacturing culture. Now, let me highlight one critical technology which is very, very important for defense, semiconductors. Friends, no modern defense system works without chips. Chips plays very important in defense, aerospace, and space systems. That is why semiconductors are not just commercial products. They are strategic assets of digital age. And here, MSME and startups have the historic opportunity. The semiconductor ecosystem is built by chip design startups, power electronics MSME, RF module manufacturers, testing and packaging of units, materials and tooling suppliers for the fabrication labs. From a defense R&D perspective, I want to share 4 direct messages to my young entrepreneurs. Design, don't only manufacture. If you design technology, you control technology. If you control technology, you control the future. The quality over cheap price. Defense system demands reliability. Cheap products do not protect soldiers. Reliable products do. Think long term. Defense ecosystem takes time, but it builds stable business and global credibility. Fourth, collaborate, do not work alone. Work with defense R&D, defense PSUs, universities, etc. Future technology will be built by the ecosystem, not by the isolated companies. Defense technology must not remain limited to military platform. It must improve the civilian lives. We see navigation systems help farmers, drones supports the disaster management, power electronics strengthen the renewable energy, communication technologies connect the rural India. Bharat's strength is converting high technology into affordable solution for the society. At this moment, when Bharat is rewriting its industrial future, these panel themes become a national mission. From import dependence to indigenous dominance, it is not just a topic, it is our responsibility. It means designing in India, manufacturing in India, innovating in India, and supplying to the world. When MSME become technology creators, when vendor ecosystem become resilient, when region like Vidarbha become the innovation hub, India will not only become self-reliant, India will become globally respected. From import dependence to indigenous dominance will lead to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, I will conclude my speech with a message to Gen Z. MSME are not small business. They are big national strength. Semiconductors are the steel of the digital age. Defense indigenization is not expenditure. It is investment in India's future. From importing technology to exporting innovation, this is the new India's journey. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Vidarbha. Thank you, Nagpur. I'm a Nagpurian and I'm very happy to be here addressing my fellow Nagpurians. I thank you, General Pandey sir, General Verma sir, and all the dignitaries on stage and off stage, and the fellow participants here. So I represent IDEX. You would have heard many speakers talk about IDEX. So it's an acronym. IDEX stands for Innovation for Defense Excellence. And I see excellence here itself in Nagpur. We do have 3 startups who are from Nagpur who are associated with IDEX. They are winners of our challenges. JSR, D&D is here itself. I wish we have more, and that is the reason why I volunteered to be here to talk about what is IDEX and where the young mind, the young technocrats are missing. So this is a scheme, it's a flagship scheme by the Ministry of Defense, launched in 2018 by our Honorable Prime Minister. And today, some numbers I would like to bring it out to you, what we have done, the impact. So we have about close to more than 565 challenges given by these services. That is the Indian Army, Indian Air Force, and Indian Navy, as well as our DPSUs. And our startups have got orders as on date worth more than 3,800 crores. So this is something for a very small amount what the government has given them as a grant, close to about 500 crores. What the industry has got order size is something phenomenal. It is about 8 times. So this is where one can understand the importance of the impact of the scheme. And till date, we have received about close to 13,000 applications for the various challenges. So there is a huge euphoria in the country. I want Vidarbha region also to benefit. I want the students, the young minds to look at the IDEX website, look at the challenges given by the services, and if you have a solution in mind, you should definitely apply. So IDEX, even though it's 7 years, it's in the making, we are very going to see, it's a very product-centric. Many of the speakers talked about product. Yes, our end delivery is a product. It's not a technology alone. We are looking at the next IDEX 2.0 towards a technology-centric, wherein we would be teaming up with the defense industry and the academia to make that as a technology, as an enabler. The highlights of these schemes where we have brought out is the TAP amendment. This is where you not only innovate or develop, but you make it for India, for the user, so for the procurement. So this is where IDEX has been a very big enabler to the startup ecosystem. We have enabled, there is no, right now the limit is up to 250 crores, but very soon in the new amendments you want to hear out, there is now no limit for these IDEX startup winner. He is a single point. If you have developed a technology, then the world is open to you to supply to the user for the full amount. I do have a lot to talk about in IDEX. I can do it in my after this session also, to young entrepreneurs and to the people who want to understand more about it. I had a slide presentation also, but because of the paucity of time, I don't intend to cover the process. In the sum, I would say, yes, IDEX journey predominantly has been with challenges. We have seen our startups struggling with funds. Raising funds is definitely one part. This is where my request to the industry is, the government is doing its part. There's a fund of funds scheme, which is 2.0, which is about 10,000 crore has been earmarked for defense startups. But the more has to be done by private participation, the industry participation, so that the finance part is taken care by our young technocrats, and the journey for indigenization gets its full importance. I would like to end this talk. I'm more open after the talk also to the available to the Vidarbha people, where I can bring in more value to their thought process. Thank you.
Respected General Manoj Pandey sir, respected General Verma, my colleague IS, and dignities on dais. Almost the 34-year back, I have started journey in Vidarbha, and now the first time I am in a Vidarbha, Advantage Vidarbha. The question coming here, the 5-year backs, the Atmanirbhar Bharat, the slope has started mission way, and the 10-year back, the Make in India mission started. As on the data says, yes, we are moving forward. We are effectively moving forward. As the data presented, we have achieved 75% of indigenization out of defense procurement. This year target has been increased to the 15% of the capital and revenue purchase. And you all know the import contents as on date is the 12%, which is the earlier. I remember 2002, it was 62% of total defense procurement. So questions, yes, but then future. You all know the future is a high-end technology product is required. Future says we should have a heavy investment R&D, not by the government, logistic, by each and everyone in the private sector. You all know future product, who all the future products coming? You have an aerospace, aerosystem, Tejas Mark 1, Tejas Mark 2, light helicopters, and the next is a 6th generation plane is coming up. In a land system, futuristic combat vehicle, futuristic industrial combat vehicle, and the light tank, which is already there. In a drone, you all know what type of drone is going, space industries, base surveillance system. In a missiles, all sort of missiles are there. Naval system is also coming with the different high-end technology. But then most of the product which here in the public sector, in a private sector, either come out from the JV route or TOT route or the co-production route. R&D still going on. Today, everyone is reading, we do not have engine for MCA. We do not have engine for high-end Arjun tank. We are struggling for and over the year, last 40 years, we have got TOT for engine. But on the TOT, we have not built up the basic technology. which is required, and now the future, this product is going to be depend based on. When we are talking Vision 2047, it clearly says we should have all technology in your hand. We should not have not a single technology. We should look for our developed countries or other countries. So the question is open for all of you. The really task is very huge. Everyone here is really effectively working. That's the question open for you. You all know, recently this year, as the Ministry of Defence has opened as a reform year and set the target. Our MSMEs has been given some targets. They have been ensured that we will be purchasing the minimum 25% of the production procurement required from them. They have been given so much preferential clause, where price preferential clause. So that's all working very well. Recently, the Defence Acquisition Manual or Defence Acquisition Procedures, my friend has already told the Make 1, Make 2, Make 3 systems are very well working. Make 1, which is the government fund system, where the 70% fund is governed by the, here there is a government initiative. Make 2 is the industry-based, the DPSUs are making the fund. Here they ensured the prototype once is ready, it will be trial and successful. Then the minimum required quantity will be purchased and they will be the established source and preferential source available for the DPSUs and the industrial partner. Make 3, here the consequence. Because when we have purchased the TOT has been never been to 100%. Somewhere we have achieved 90% indigenization, somewhere we still there at 60%. And when the 10% left out, we have marked the OEM, whosoever is there, we can have a directly collaboration and manufacture inside them. I remember I have worked in Indian Embassy Moscow as a diplomat as well as technical end. In 2021, there was an IGA sign, Intergovernment Agreement sign between the India and Russia. This agreement signed with that the MSMEs and the small scale industry will have a collaboration with the Russian OEM. But things has not moved. Things are very, very slowly moving. Some of the important technologies is still not been completed. So question from my side is, until unless we take heavy and expenditure on R&D, we will not be moving the way we want to develop our product, which I have explained to you. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Good evening, General Pandey, General Verma, my DS, in fact, General Bam. As usual, I've got the last slot today. I didn't come prepared with anything, but while sitting there, I got enough time to, ponder as to what is left for me to speak now. Everything has been spoken, most of it. All it, I think, has left me is to just say, I'm the one who's making ammunition daily, by the way. I'm into production. And solar brings that confidence today in everybody in Vidarbha or in the country, or I'll say even abroad today, because we deal with customers all across the world today. We very, very clearly carry this message of Atmanirbharta to the hilt. And our chairman, who's just been honored with a Padma Shri, that is, I'm talking of Shri Satyanarayana Naval, he believes in this fact that the country has to be strong, then its defense has to be strong. It was not easy for him to charter into this territory, and it will not be easy for people who are sitting here thinking of getting into this territory. I'll just quote one thing in it. I'll quote Shakespeare. Some people are born great, some people, the greatness is thrust upon them, and some have to earn greatness. So the MSMEs out here are the third lot. You have to earn your greatness. And how would you do that? You are like a pawn in a chessboard. And if you're a pawn on a chessboard, all it requires a pawn to become a queen is 5 steps, isn't it? If you all know about chess, all it requires is 5 steps. So you have, as potential MSMEs or MSMEs right now, or entrepreneurs, have to take those 5 steps. Go for it. They're not easy steps. You will get bishops, you will get knights, you will get queens, you will get a whole lot of problems en route. But if you are that one who's going to become a queen on the chessboard, you will call the shots. So are you ready for that greatness? Then come into it. I'll take a leaf out of what General Verma said earlier. It's not going to be easy. How I know this? Because I deal with them daily. We require a quality product in solar. We are the only ones who are making ammunition out here, and we are making it in large scale. I've been associated with this company for the last 3+ years now. After my retirement, I was a combat gunner myself, used all those things which I'm making now. Between using an ammunition and making an ammunition is something as different as what and your head and your toe is. It's as different as that. So for me, it was a formidable, learning curve that I had to climb to first of all get into these nuances as to how we work. Quality was one thing which was always at the back of the mind. Safety is always something which we think of because accidents put you back but many years, and they're very counterproductive. And third, the most important, you're working with DRDO, you're working with agencies who sometimes do not understand as to how the hand-holding works. Until the time this hand-holding doesn't come out strongly, not just by the lip service, I'm saying so. And I'm saying it. I fight daily with the policy makers, policy implementers, and the MSMEs, that poor last man who's working. I'll give you a small example. You get an order today, I start making one order. That order has come from Indian Army or Air Force or Navy, we are making for all 3 of them. One fine day, you service that entire order and it finishes. When do you get the next order? Till the time the perspective planning is done in the headquarters somewhere or somebody has planned for it, and then that entire exercise of the RFP again being floated to you, and then that thing exercise goes on. You know the gestation period of this entire thing? It is going to be 1 year plus. And by the time this order comes to you, it can be more than 2 years plus. So what has happened to your assembly line? What has happened to all those people who are trained for this particular jobs? And the worst of all, I'm still saying that this is solar that sustains it, because we've got a mother company which can sustain it with us. What about that poor MSME? Do you have that deep pockets to really stand up? Do you have that patience to really stand up? We talk about all those Vidarbh ka kisan ne aaj suicide kar liya, isne ye kar liya, usme kar liya. Do you know how MSMEs are running their kitchen or their homes? Haven't I dwelled on a very sensitive topic which MSME goes through? This is what is required in hand-holding by the governments today. If our defense has to become strong, if we have to become Atmanirbhar, all these people sitting here on the panel, my fellow panelists, they know about it. Yet, we have not done anything about it. I'm being very frank in saying so. Lip service is all good. You really have to walk that talk. And walking the talk is difficult.
We at Solar today maintain this, that MSMEs who are going to be associated with us, we are going to sustain them. Because this MSME is going to give you a quality product. Let me tell you, every smallest of the cup, every smallest of the thing which is made has an effect on the large product. A rocket can fail because of a smallest of a squib that MSME is making it. So if you don't handhold this man in his quality, if you don't handhold this man during his worst times, then you have not done anything about it. Then it's all lip service. Carry on saying that we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to become, make for the world. I'm saying make for India first. Your defense has to be strong. That PIL which we are talking about, we are making all those things today. We have started making 23 mm, 40 mm, 30 mm, which is all on the PIL. I am making it. So what I am trying to say is that we have to handle this man on the street. Actually, he's man on the street. And then we'll say, yes, we are walking towards that goal of Atmanirbhar. That is what is required. I'm not saying we are USA today that one particular company, Raytheon, has been given an order, or BA has been given an order, or Lockheed Martin has got an order, and in all those years they'll carry on getting it, and because they have deep pockets they can. No, deep pockets people will work for themselves. It is an MSME which has to be held hold. And we as a principal are doing it with our MSMEs, whosoever gets associated. We are saying so. This is going to be an ammunition corridor, or in a corridor which is going to, we are going to be the hub of that industry, ammunition today. I'm saying with a lot of conviction in it, yes, all those people who are going to be working with us are going to be looked after in the longer run. That's all I want to do. Is thank you. Jai Hind.
Okay. As the concluding session, I had about 10 to 12 questions to ask each of the gentlemen who are full of their knowledge and experience and expertise. However, because of the time constraint, what we will do is, I will take one question and request any three of them to speak about it, and thereafter we'll throw the house open for the audience with a maximum of 3 questions. Any questions which you have, which were left unanswered because of the time, you can meet the experts later after the particular session is over and then resolve it. Okay, taking a cue from what Vasu said about the SMEs. So let's look at what are the challenges as part of Atmanirbhar to the SMEs or MSMEs for aspects such as scaling, which made a mention, the quality compliance, certification, and market access. Because these are the 4 pillars on which the MSMEs work. And like I said earlier, being a niche market, getting access into it becomes that much more difficult. I would request any volunteer out of the panel to take it on and give his thoughts and inputs.
MSMEs have been given a good support, as you know that the Ministry of Defence has a PLI list, positive integration list, as well as the Srijan portal. And if you see the data, out of the 5,000 components are the assemblies and sub-assemblies are there for the different platforms. 1,500 platforms or 1,500 products has already been produced. And this is all possible because of hand-holding between the concerned production agency and the MSMEs and the quality agency people. And this is really the breakthrough, and the things are moving very positive.
So at IDEX, we had launched till date the 13th edition of the challenges, that is the DISC. And the other one is the 3rd edition of Aditi. So DISC is 1.5 crore grants we give, and for Aditi the grants is up to 25 crore. So I would request the MSME and the startup ecosystem to kindly watch out for the next edition of IDEX launches, which is likely to be very soon. We're going to have about close to 50 plus challenges being launched by the users. This is a good opportunity for you to engage with the user, and also I would like more participation from Vidarbha this time.
I didn't cover a very sensitive topic, in fact, for MSMEs. There's an aspect of getting qualified as a vendor with DRDO. Now, I'm very sure once you get into it, people will guide you into it as to how a vendor is qualified or an MSME is qualified with DRDO. This is a major aspect. One has to learn this. One has to know how these nuances work. Because if you are not ready for this, then again you are going to get a setback. You are working with DRDO, you got to work with some norms in mind, because our qualification process and the entire rigmarole of getting qualified is not that easy. And there's a reason to it. Because you cannot have any compromise with the quality. And DRDO will really, ठोक बजा के आपके साथ वो चीज़ लेगा आपसे. वो आपके साथ बिल्कुल भाई बंदी के साथ पेश नहीं आएगा इसमें. तो अगर वो उसने ठोक बजा के आपसे चीज़ लेनी है और आपको वेंडर क्वालिफाई करना है, then he will go through that process and be ready for that. So at the end of the day, only thing which should matter to you, whether you are able to give a quality product. And in our country, that's a problem. We tend to take quality sometimes not seriously. But if you want to get into the defense industry, then be sure quality is supreme, because that is not something which is negotiable.
Thank you, gentlemen. I throw the house open for any questions if anybody has. What we'll do is, somebody wants to ask a question, please raise your hand, give out your name and what organization do you belong to, and keep your question as short as possible. Yeah, Shishir. What question can Shishir have? That's why I'm saying, what question can you have about it? Okay, you wait. Yeah. Can you give him a mic, please?
Thank you. I am Pravin Shikadu, and I wanted to ask a question about how the coordination between MSMEs is ongoing right now in terms of policies, because we see that a lot of policies of government are in place to protect our intelligence and to ensure quality control. But the coordination as a result is pretty lackluster. So what challenges do we face in order to prevent another INSAS situation happening in defense sector?
Okay. His question is, what is the coordination aspects as far as the MSMEs are concerned with the defense stroke government organizations? Anybody?
So regarding this MSME point of view, one thing is lacking, where we are working now, that there should be one big database which Das sir has mentioned. HL doesn't know what is the Yantra have, Yantra doesn't have what is the Bell have. So the database is under preparations. It may be like a Amazon search engine type of thing. When you put your rings, as example, if you want to make a 50G test, centrifugal test. Now if you search in the website, you will not be able to find this type of test bed is available at which place. So yes, if you are the director of your MSME company, with the DIN number, you enter this list, because this is confidential information, it should not be open to everybody. With your DIN number, you entered, you will be able to know this facility is available at which place. If it is government, it may be free of cost. If it is a private company, it may be some rent type of things. So sir, it is the things that yes, MSME is facing for the quality, because quality doesn't need anything it is a heavy capex investment. If we made something, we have to test in all conditions, it should be passed. This is a requirement of defense. And defense is the you can say it is the start point of all type of technology. So this is the way government is working, that I know from the literatures, that I communicate from here. Maybe might have you know, if it is not known, that is known. And whenever there is any conference which you interface with the main government agency, you people should put your words. There should be a big database where we are able to find anything like Amazon, like a Flipkart. Because now it is demand of India. MSME will develop because you doesn't have that much of money can be utilized. So this is my submission.
If I may continue the question for a second, or
Sorry?
actually I wanted to ask. Sir,
What we will do is, you can have a one-to-one
I'll do
interaction.
later.
Just short of, we will answer all your questions. Yes, sir.
So we talked about the availability of rare materials. We talked about the difficulties for the MSMEs to face in developing something which is Atmanirbhar. My question to the panel and to the other DPSUs and others is, what is that R&D expenditure we are ready to do? Because MSMEs by themselves cannot spend money on R&D of a product which is to be tested finally. They can create a product all right. But General Arya has mentioned about holding hands. That R&D expenditure has to be taken up by the DPSU, for which the MSME is going to create the and the DPSUs or the other people, they are very, very shy of spending money on R&D. And unless we spend money, I don't think we'll be able to do that any justice to Atmanirbhar.
His question is right. He talks about the challenges of the MSMEs in terms of launching a new product. When you launch a new product, the capital investment is very high. It's well-nigh impossible for a MSME to put that kind of money. So his question is, do we have a system in place where funds can be given for R&D?
Here, when we discuss, there are three policies actually government has given. That is Make 1, Make 2 and Make 3. In the Make 1, total R&D funding, what is given, it is given to the MSMEs. So, and in turn, what defense PSU is to do, when we float an inquiry for the product, the main R&D is generating a specifications, because it is a tough job, toughest part. So, every DPSU will take that pain to do the reverse engineering of the product, make the specification and then float those specification along with the funding of the product. Means it is a development fund is there, then you have to make a prototyping and then the testing. So total fund will be given for the development of the product. It is a MSME has to manufacture the product, test the product, for that the funding is there and then get it proved. But main constraint is that success should be there. Fund will be generated only after the success of the product. So that gestation period, that what required, if it is a smaller product, it required 2 years. If it is a slightly complicated product, it required 3 to 4 years. So that patience we have to take, do some R&D, and then hand-holding is already there, testing and all that. That I don't believe that hand-holding is not there. Without hand-holding, no product can be developed. So hand-holding is there, and then once you develop the product, how long you can supply that product? So it is a proprietary product. You can supply it to any DPSU till that project lasts. So 30, 40 years. So it is a win-win situation for PSU to select the product. What is the complication? We are not selecting the product what is in our technology range. If it is in my technology range, then only. If some bearing manufacturer is there, then he can quote for bearing, it is okay. But if bearing manufacturer is developing the product for development of raw material, it's difficult actually. It takes long time. So MSME has to select their product range, then go for it. Development will be done. So it is a win-win combination. Hope I answer your question.
So, as someone from this side asked about funds for MSc, there are various schemes. Technology Development Fund, you asked, okay. The Technology Development Fund is available, that's a DRDO thing. Make 1, Make 2, Make 3 is already well proven in the MOD, DAP, and for all the defense PSU's manufacture procedures. But I would put a question back. Is MSME looking for only manufacturing? Then they are just a manufacturer. But if MSME is looking big, if MSME wants to, see, it's not just manufacturing. You have to develop like an OEM. You have to shift from just a manufacturer, because then it is pure competition. See what MSME does. Please give me an order. They don't want to participate in tenders. If they want to be of that type, then they have to have a technology with them. Some niche technology has to be developed, for which as a startup or through IDEX, you get it. You have to spend. It's not that only DPSUs have to spend on R&D. The company who wants to grow, irrespective of whether it is a DPSU or a private, a company who spends on R&D will grow. That's a statement. Rather than expecting only others to, that other will pay for me and I will do R&D. Because spending in R&D is actually a thing. Now, why startups? I will tell you. I handle a lot of startups. So why startups are successful? Because they have to get a fund, they have to have a technology development level 6 at least or 7, then only they get funds. But initial phase, the quest, the zeal comes only when you are constrained by funds. If you have funds, you will be lenient. I will tell you a case study. If you see in India, when I am from armored background, so I know manufacturing tanks and other things. You see T-72, T-90 and Arjun. When T-72 technology was brought in, license was brought in, getting imports was a tough thing. We had to take ministry approval. Money was difficult, anything to develop, to import. So we developed our own resources. We do more indigenization. When T-90 came, then we had more powers to import. So what happens? The money was available, easily available. So we spent, there was less thrust in indigenization. So just thinking that others will give money for R&D is not a right approach. We have to think that we have to spend R&D to grow big. So that is what we should never think that only the DPSUs. Yes, as a big brothers, as a big companies, DPSUs will provide, the government is providing, but even the smaller MSMEs have to spend something on R&D. Because if they have to hold that IPR, if they have to hold that technology, that's my...
The next group is already threatening me from the doors. Last question. No, this gentleman raised his hand twice.
Yeah, my primary question has been already answered, but I would like to take this opportunity to request respected Major General Arya that we are hardly 10 kilometers away from you. My name is Rajesh Ganorkar. I am representing Spancraft Hydro System Private Limited. We are actively working with HL. We have developed India's first indigenously developed hydraulic test rig for them for the ARDC project.
If you don't mind, can I interrupt if you don't mind? Please have a one-to-one with him and have a gala.
Thank you.
Yeah, last one. There's a lady who wanted to ask. We will finish with the ladies' gender. Yeah.
Hi, hello everyone. I wanted to know, we're talking about Vidarbha being on the map here. What are we doing about skill building to attract the right talent? Because there's always this issue of attracting operators, engineers in this field. So is there anything from the panel which we can expect?
Yeah, the question by the lady is, there's a requirement of skill-based training for people to be ready for industry. What are we doing at this sector? Anybody? Where is Dushyant? So you want to answer?
No. The Vedic is already doing a lot of things because they know what is exactly required over here and they are offering trainings in that regard. What is required exactly, there is an interface between the industry and the education institution. In case industry wants a specialized skill, they can always approach the industry, education sector, and they will run a course for that. That's what we have right now at NADP. We run a course in PGDM Defense, And what we are doing exactly, some industries, suppose they want, because the last, national education policy, what it says, last semester you don't have to do anything. You can go to the factory and do a project, capstone project, that will be taken, credit will be given. So what has happened, the industry offers a elective in our campus. In case my PGDM students want to go to ammunition sector, the MIL is offering an elective of ammunition. So that people are already trained over here. So they go to the industry directly, they can do that. Such kind of initiatives are happening and this being coordinated. I understand there are skill gaps, exactly the demand versus supply is not matching. But the market will take care. That is why government is creating an ecosystem. Thank you so much.
I don't want to sound very despondent about it, but I am. Because I am the user of this particular so-called niche workmen or niche staff that I am looking for all the time. This is a constant problem at our end, on this end. Because we have not been able to make those kind of things. Mr. Kale is here today. I'm putting it to you directly, to AID. We need to have colleges, we need to have institutes churning out people who can come into an ammunition or a defense industry. I'll tell you, there's a massive dearth. What NADP is doing is at a different level. We don't want those kind of people all the time. Yes, one or two we might be able to get it. But the 99% of the people, where they're going to come from? The entire defense industry is working from Pune and Hyderabad. Who wants to come to a hinterland in Nagpur today and start working with us? That's a major problem. People are trying to work with us, being poached by the bigger companies, that solar ka thappa lag gaya, let's pick him out from here. I know how I do the business of getting my MPs and MLAs in a, that bus and putting them aside so that they're not poached. I'm saying it with a lot of conviction, what I'm saying today. But we need to train more people. We do not have trained manpower. The point was taken up by the Chief Minister as well as by Shri Nitin Gadkari that we have to have that kind of manpower. We can get an Ashok Leland factory here, but we do not have the manpower to run it. Then what do we do it? That is what I think the lady is asking about. Yes, ma'am, we are definitely short of it. I'm saying it with conviction.
General Anil, I've taken Dushyant's permission to make a comment here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Friends, just what you asked, just about 2 months back, we have released and revised the program of all BTech programs. Bachelor of Engineering, BTech, in all education institutes in the country. As a whole of nation approach, now the subject of defense technology as a minor curriculum with 18 credits is going to be introduced in all universities if those universities want. So this syllabus has been revised by a committee on which I was also there, All India Council of Technical Education, and this is part as a whole of nation approach so that the skill sets among the younger generation comes in oriented towards the defense technology. I will upload the website, you can take that, how this is going to be implemented. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It only brings me to the end of the session today. I want to thank each of my panelists for enlightening the people who are here with all the inputs and knowledge which they had. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Great to have an audience which was so involved and invigorating. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Sir, you would like to say something? Thank you. Jai Hind.
This was truly a thought-provoking session with much valuable insights. Before
I'll request my panelists to wait on for a felicitation, please.
To express our gratitude, I would like to move on to felicitating our panelists. I would also like to warmly welcome AID President Ashish Kare, sir. We warmly welcome you to our program, sir. Thank you for your presence. Today, as panelists, we had Shri Surendra Dhopadkar, sir. Sir is a Deputy Director General at Gliders India Limited. We also have Sanjeev Bhola, sir, and Shri Pradeep Kumar, sir, Dr. Lakshman Singh, Dr. J.P. Dash sir, Dr. Ajit Bhandakar sir, Major General Vasudesh Arya sir, GP Captain Rohit Kaura sir, and as our moderator, I sincerely thank Anil Bam sir. Thank you all panelists for your presence today. You've truly made our session extremely delightful. It was thought-provoking, it was engaging, and I am pretty sure everyone in the room here with us enjoyed a lot.